What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So I was going to do a video about a particular subject with the weight classes, and I came across something on Sporting Icon's channel. He's another channel. I love his channel. And I figured, you know what? Let me just play the video because I'm pretty much was going to get on what he's talking about now. And he pretty much said everything that, to sum it up, is not much to say about it. So let's take a listen.
Boxing, you're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Okay, so just a quick overview, because not everybody knows about the weight divisions. There's a lot of people who are just getting into boxing now. So I'm going to give you guys what currently is at the top end of the weight divisions, what the WBC were planning on doing, and then what it is that they are going to be doing. Okay, now currently what it is, the light heavyweight division is 175 pound currently, the cruiserweight limit is 200 pound, and then the heavyweight division is 200 pound plus. Okay, that's currently what it is. So there's a 25 pound gap between light heavyweight and cruiserweight. Okay, now what the WBC were planning on doing was lowering the cruiserweight limit of 200 pound down to 190 pound to bridge the gap of the 25 pound between light heavyweight and cruiserweight from 25 pound down to 15 pound. Then they were going to introduce a new weight division of 224 pound, maximum limit of course, then anything above 224 pound would be the heavyweight division. So that's what their plan was a few weeks ago. Again, I did a video on this one. But what the plan is now is that they are no longer going to reduce the cruiserweight limit. So the light heavyweight division will stay 175 pound. The cruiserweight limit will stay 200 pounds. So the gap of 25 pound will remain the same. But what they're doing now is they're introducing a new weight division of 224 pound, and it's going to be called the Bridgerweight Division. And the Bridgerweight Division is called Bridgerweight Division by the WBC after Bridger Walker, who is a 6-year-old who was injured protecting his younger sister from a dog attack earlier this year. That's why they call it the Bridgerweight Division. Now, what this means now is that nothing's really changing as far as light heavyweight and cruiserweight is concerned, which was always the problem for a lot of boxers, but instead they've upped the limit of the heavyweight division. So currently the heavyweight division, you're 200 pound plus, you're a heavyweight. But now you've got to be 224 pound plus to be a heavyweight. To join this Bridgerweight division, anywhere from 201 pound up to 224 pound limit. So it's actually introducing a new weight division, but they're increasing the heavyweight division. I hope this makes sense. So those who are currently active heavyweights, you've got to weigh 224 pounds plus to continue to be a heavyweight. So that means some of the smaller heavyweights who are, first of all, known as small heavyweights, plus those who have moved up from cruiserweight to heavyweight, and those who are planning, or was at least planning, on moving from cruiserweight up to heavyweight, no longer can. Unless, of course, you're going to put on a whole ton of weight, such as Lawrence Okoli, current cruiserweight, such as Richard Riakporhe, such as Marius Bradis, and others. It's unlikely that we're going to see these guys at heavyweight. They could, of course, they could pack on a bit of muscle and bridge the 24 pound gap. They could always do that, but it's also going to be potentially, at least, a bit of a problem for some current heavyweights as well, such as a Alexander Usyk, such as a Adam Babbage, such as a Deontay Wilder, and quite a few others. So they are going to have to weigh at least 224 pound to compete in the heavyweight division now. So they haven't really done anything as far as bridging the gap between light heavyweight and cruiserweight, which was always the problem. But instead they've just upped the limit for the heavyweight division and just introduced this new Bridgerweight division. That's all the WBC are doing. Now, we don't know whether or not the other sanctioning bodies are fully on board with this one. I would think that they would have to be. Otherwise, the WBC will be a separate entity as far as the Bridgerweight and the heavyweight division is concerned. Would it not? Because surely you need the WBO the WBA and the IBF to be aligned with it. Otherwise, you're looking at certain ones like Anthony Joshua, for example. He's the WBO, WBA, and IBF World Heavyweight Champion. So if they're not on board, then currently he could still fight, say, Wilder, Usyk, Babbage, for example, and defend those belts against them. Tyson Fury will only be able to defend his WBC belt against those who weigh 224 pounds plus. I hope this makes some kind of sense. But anyway, I would imagine all the other sanctioned bodies are fully on board with it. I presume that they're going to agree to it, because at the end of the day, it's another weight division, isn't it? That's all they've done. They've just created another weight division. Why? To get more sanction fees. And they haven't actually sorted out what the main problem was. Again, you look up and down the low weight divisions, there's like a 2, 3, 4 pound difference in between some weights. I mean, what's the sense in that? There's no sense in that whatsoever. But anyway, they're seeing at the top end, not too much change really, except for to be a heavyweight, you're going to have to weigh a little bit more now. That's the only real difference. Anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.
Another solid video. Nice breakdown by Sporting Icons as always. And salute and shout out to him. Pretty much what I was going to make the video about, just to touch up on, was what he ended it pretty much with, which was, we're assuming that the other sanctioning bodies, you know, like the IBF, WBA, WBO, would have to be on board, because this is what I was saying, was that, well, damn, okay, so with these weight classes, you know, the separation of the divisions, because I've heard something about that as well, and I made a video about it before, but then I got a little bit more information, and it would be that not only would AJ still be able to fight those guys because he's holding the titles, but it also, like Tyson Fury himself, as far as him just being the WBC champion, well, he would pretty much be picking fighters from, he could fight whoever. But like he said, he would be able to fight guys that doesn't, you know, meet that weight class requirement. So, and not only that, if the other sanctioning bodies wasn't on board, the WBC would have like a whole world to themselves. And pretty much the WBC champion could pretty much have to fight, he would be fighting whoever is in, you know, the WBC's top 10 or whatever. You know, but for AJ, somebody like that, is more pressure on him holding all those other titles, because you do have mandatories and things like that, you know, but it would be messy. It would be one big mess. Like, everybody would have to be on board. So that's what my focus was on the video. And then I came across Sporting Icons video. It just happened to pop up. Like, you know, it was funny that I'm like, wow, you know what? So instead of just, because he pretty much said everything I was going to say. So I just let that play and then just, you know, add to it what I was going to say. But you know what? To be honest with you, that never made sense to me. The fact that it's a 25-pound jump from light heavyweight to heavyweight, you know, for that, in that scenario. So it's like, well, how does that help? Especially with if which I'm not a fan of the franchise champion, but if they did make a heavyweight a franchise champion, how does that help a franchise? What does that do? He can only fight in one weight class. So I believe that expansion is also so you can have that a heavyweight franchise champion as well. Otherwise, what does that do? The WBC can't control what happens with the, you know, IBF, the WBA, the WBO. So I mean, what sense it would serve zero purpose. I'm not a fan of of a franchise champion in any weight division, actually, because I haven't seen anything that has done to the sport to help the sport at all. You know, but at the same time, you know, as a heavyweight, you can only fight in that one division. So now, 224 and up, it's still, I don't see how being a franchise champion helps you. Now, a guy that can actually go up and down in weight, I could see somebody like that maybe. And maybe they're looking at somebody like Usyk or Wilder, because think about it. People saying that 231 is too much weight for Wilder. Now, my thing was his he looked best in terms of, well, we only seen him fight at 231 at one time. I don't believe at all being 231 had any effect on Wilder's legs. If it did, then that means it's something that he's not doing with his legs in training. He's 6'7". He should be able to carry 231. I'm not as tall as Wilder. I'm 247. And I'm lightning fast on my feet and with my hands, and I don't get tired. I don't tank out, and I'm muscular. And the things that people say you can't do, I do it. And I'm not 6'7". So there's no way Wilder being 6'7" can't handle 231 pounds. Balance it out, put some weight on your legs and thighs, and I mean, that's all. 231, 7 pounds over, heavier than the 224 limit, and he's 6'7". He should be able to carry 231. I don't believe it all that had shit to do with his legs. So maybe they're looking at somebody like Wilder because he's not big, but with his height, he can put the weight on. So maybe they're looking at Usyk. Those two names were the first two that came up when they first started talking about super cruiserweight. So, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that for them, in my opinion, for them to make someone franchise champion, it would more than likely be somebody who can go up and down in weight like that. At least from 201 pounds to go up, to be able to go to 224, to be able to go higher than 224. Now, I don't, Wilder said he can get down to cruiserweight. I don't know if that would be good for him because he's so tall. He'd be really scrawny. Like, he'd be even that. I don't think that would be cool for somebody 6'7" to fight at 100. And, I don't think that benefits him at all. And I think he'd be weak. So, it's too much weight to burn. That's too much. So anyway, not really much to say about that, but that's what I wanted to make that on, and that's why I played Sporting Icons video. So pretty much he summed up everything I was going to say. So anyway, look, y'all, never fall in love with lies. And remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and that's all I'm going to say on this video, and I will catch y'all on the next one.